Madeline Reed, ILEA Napa-Sonoma president. I am so pleased that Heather Nelson, the amazing business development manager for Encore Event Rentals and life hack goddess, is here today to share with us how she manages life's chaos and best practices for you as well. I am really happy to see everybody and their amazing glasses. Everybody else, get your glasses on. Come on. No, I'm just really happy to see everybody, and thank you so much for joining us. And with that, Heather Nelson.
Hello, everyone. I'm very excited to be in this format. When we talked about me doing this back a couple months ago, I was going to be on a panel and in person, and here we are doing virtual. But I'm excited, and kind of my first time, so bear with me. But I'm really excited that we're able to, with ILEA Napa-Sonoma, be able to offer this, program still to people, because I think it's super important, especially now. So I hope I can share some tips and things that have worked for me. I'm definitely not an expert, but people say I'm good at managing my workload and my personal life. So I hope you guys can walk away with one thing, from what I have to say. So I know most of you on this call, I can't see everyone right now, but I know most of you, but just a little bit about myself. As Madeline said, I am the business development manager for Encore Event Rentals, currently on unemployment, and being a part of the brand. My role with the company is basically overseeing and managing hundreds of accounts, not just a couple, but we do have hundreds of accounts that I kind of touch base with on a daily basis. So it keeps me really busy. I'm also what a lot of people will say is the face of Encore. So you'll see me at networking events and other social events. And so it keeps me busy just with that alone. I also do a lot of in-person meetings and on-site, so I'm constantly on the road. So a lot of these things that I'm going to talk about today have make me be able to manage that and be on the road and still feel like I'm being productive. I'm also a wife. I'm a mom of 2 children. Oh my gosh, I already forgot their ages because they just all have birthdays, 9 and 6. I also have a 14-year-old stepdaughter, and between their schedules, they keep me really busy with school. They're all in sports. They're in 4-H. And so just with their schedule alone is definitely very busy. I also have a dog and a cat and 2 rabbits, because why not? Like, let's just bring all the animals into this house. I feel like my animals are probably more work than my kids, but they're fun and a joy to be around. As you guys know, I'm also on the board and past president of ILEA Napa-Sonoma. So between board meetings and other projects that I do with the board, that keeps me very busy as well. I'm also in a leadership program with the Santa Rosa Chamber of Commerce, which is super fun and on hold right now, but basically it's a program that I had to apply for and get interviewed for, and it's other community members, and we learn different avenues of the community, which has been really eye-opening for me, between education and health and public safety, and so it's been really fun. And then I also somehow find time to volunteer in my kids' school and their 4-H program. So as you can see, I am really busy. And so I feel like a lot of these things I'm going to talk about today have really helped me create boundaries and goals and habits of what I do every day to be able to manage all these things. Just a couple things too that I'm working on. I'm hopefully going to be running a half marathon here in September. So that's been really fun to keep me focused on the goals. I also was just a surrogate. A lot of you guys probably know that. I was carrying a baby for another family, and I gave birth, it's already been 2 months, March 5th. So that was a really exciting and fun journey for myself. And I really have to say, if I didn't do all the things that we're going to talk about today, I would probably not be able to have the mindset that I have and be able to overcome something, pretty significant in my life. And a little fun thing about myself is I love 80s music. So if you see me on the road running, that's probably what I'm listening to. So I can see some chats coming through. I just want to make sure there's no questions. 80s all the way. Yes. We were hoping to have an 80s gala, but that didn't happen. So maybe next year. So as you can see, I am really busy. But I love it and I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm really struggling right now working from home and not really working. But I'm still trying to, work on other things. So that's a little bit about me. Let me see. Bear with me. There we go. So I just told you all about myself. So how many of you feel like this? Somebody sent me this picture and I was like, yep. This is exactly what I feel like, especially being home right now. So I think that we're all kind of just juggling and managing everything. And it can be a little bit crazy at times, but hopefully some of these things I talk about today, you'll be able to walk away and be able to apply in your everyday life. I'm definitely not an expert, but I try really hard to be good at everything. And sometimes it doesn't always work and it's okay to fail. So the first thing I'm going to talk about today, which is very near and dear to my heart, is self-care. And you probably hear this all the time. And a lot of what I'm going to talk about, everyone's probably heard in some capacity in the last few months. But a lot of this is very true. Self-care for me is my number one way to have a good mental state of mind. If I didn't do these things every day, I don't know what I would look like right now. I went down a personal development journey probably about 2 years ago. I drank the Rachel Hollis juice. I read her books and I went to her conference last year and it really helped me kind of get my mind and goals in line. And so a lot of what I talk about and breathe and exercise every day is basically comes from a lot of my personal development. So first thing is exercise. 30 minutes a day, people. I mean, it's so easy to exercise. I know a lot of people are like, oh, I don't have my gym or I don't have this and I can't do this. There's open roads. And if you don't live somewhere, then you could drive somewhere. Then, you can walk wherever you need to walk. Right now, there's like YouTube, any kind of exercise, whether that's yoga or hip hop dance. I mean, I've seen people do that. My gym, I work out at Orange Theory and obviously we're not able to go there. So they have all of their exercises right now online. So really exercising there's no excuse. And I do it every single day, whether that's taking a walk with my kids or taking a run for myself. But I make sure every day that I do this. And this has been probably my number one thing that's gotten me through a lot of stuff, to have that time for myself. I wake up early every single day. And I know this sounds really crazy, but it's so true. And I've been noticing that the days that I don't, it really kind of puts me off balance for the day. So I wake up about an hour before everyone else does. Like I said, it's a little bit different right now, but normally I wake up at 5 a.m. I know it sounds crazy, but I get my exercise in. I usually read a book. I do my gratitude practice and just take some time for myself. And if you can, everyone says they don't have time. I don't have time. I have kids and I can't, but I'm telling you, if you wake up before they all wake up, it's like game changer and it really gets your mindset for the day. So I highly, highly recommend that. And then you get up and especially when they're in school, you're already ready for the day by the time they get up. So getting them in and out the door is a lot easier if you get up before they do. And I also drink a lot of water. I know this isn't on here, but it's part of the whole exercising thing. I drink about 1 gallon a day and everyone thought I was crazy. I bought that big old jug and I was carrying it around and everyone's like, you're nuts. But I really do drink it every day and it makes me feel so much better. And I pee a lot, but I feel better. And hold on, there's someone in the waiting room. So if you can drink the water, drink the water. I also take time to educate myself, whether that's through a book or podcasts. I find that the books that I'm reading are kind of where I'm at. So if I was struggling with maybe a kid behavior or something weird with one of my children, I would research a book and I'd read it. I just read a book about a surrogate journey, and that was really cool. I do a lot of like self-development books, so if you ever want some of the ones that I've read, I can either let you borrow them or let you know where you can find them. But I really try and take the time to read, even if it's like a chapter a day or 15 minutes a day. And then when I'm on the road or running, you can listen to a podcast. I really try and stay engaged with what's going on and motivated. So I find that that's very helpful as well. And if any of you guys were on the call last week with Shane, he talked a lot about gratitude practice, and it really is a thing. And it really has helped me. I have a little book in my little journal. I brought it to show you guys, but every day I write down 5 things I'm grateful for. And it's not like, oh, I have kids, or, oh, I have a home. It's like little specific things. Like, I enjoyed this glass of wine, or yesterday we had like a sandwich from Togo's. And I know it sounds like really crazy, but it really makes you realize what, when you go through your day and you think about all the things that you do, you're just more mindful of, what you're grateful for. So I write that down. I do it every morning. I also write down 10 goals for myself. And my goals are always the same until I've completed them. Being a surrogate was one for a really long time, and now I can cross that off, and I've added that I want to write a book about my journey. So I have 10 goals that I write down every day, and it's the same ones over and over and over again. And I find that if I write it every single day, when you go through your day, you actually think about your goals and like, is what I'm doing gonna, accomplish that goal faster. So I really have found that very, very helpful. And while we're talking about this, I'm going to do a little exercise with you guys. If you don't practice gratitude, I highly recommend it. It takes 5 minutes. I have a fancy notebook, but you don't need it. You can put it in a notebook. You can put it in your phone, and you can always look back at it. But we're going to do a little activity. And I want you guys, I'm sure most of you are taking notes, but if you could right now, I'm going to take a couple minutes, and I want you to write down 5 things you're grateful for that happened yesterday. So whenever I do this practice, I do it for the day before. So think about what you did yesterday. Think about the things that you're grateful for. It could be, like I said, it could be a cookie. It could be the weather. I mean, sky's the limit, whatever you're grateful for. And I want you guys to take that time and write those down for me. Thank you, Betty. Does anybody want to share one of their things that they're grateful for? You can put it in the little chat box. Because I think it's good that everyone, what you're grateful for could be different for other people, but it's always interesting to see what people are grateful for. And I think during this time, we really need to be more aware of what we're grateful for. I know there's a lot of negative things out in the world and a lot of unknowns, but if you're able to state what you're grateful for, it's always a good reminder. So Victoria, restful evening, yes, with beautiful weather. Andrea said book club Zoom meeting last night. I love it. I got to play with goats. Oh, a dog and a cat that were not mine, and I took pictures. Oh, that's awesome. Big moon sighting. I heard about something about the moon. I saw something about that. Anybody else want to share? I went and visited my mom. She has been coming over every week, but we went in her huge backyard and enjoyed a bottle of bubbles. So that was one thing that I was grateful for yesterday. So really try and practice this. Oh, Catherine said she did yoga, made a delicious dinner, and got my son some allergy relief. I love that. Yeah, allergies are like a real thing right now. So really try and do that every day. And when the time that you wake up early, you can do that, or some people do it before they go to bed. I like doing it in the morning because then I remind myself of all my goals that I have to accomplish every single day. For my friend's organic farm. Oh, I love that. I'm going to go to a farmer's market this week. It's on my to-do list. Okay, so that's goal setting. And so self-care, like if I can give you any of these slides, this is like number one. And if you can focus on something, it's one of these. And even if you can do one of these a day, I'm telling you, it's like life-changing. Time with my husband and son after work. Yes. Quality time right now is definitely much needed. So my next slide is on creating lists. And I'm a list person. I don't know if anyone else is, but it's what keeps everything going in your head. Because as a mom or a businesswoman, or men, if there's men on here, everything is like going on in your head at all times. And so I find that if I can get it out somewhere on a piece of paper or on a list, I'm not thinking about it as much. So I have lists literally for everything. And with I hate saying technology, but honestly, it's kind of what keeps me sane, is being able to use my phone and the apps on my phone to keep all of my thoughts and to-do lists not in my head and somewhere that I can reference. So I write down daily to-do lists, and my daily to-do list is anywhere from making a phone call to I need to go grocery shopping, or I need to, like, a project or whatever it is. So I have like my everyday to-do list that I try not to put too many things on it, because obviously you only have so many times in hours in a day, but stuff that I can manage easily. And I just write it down. So if I'm like thinking, oh, I need to, trying to think of a project. Oh, I need to go pull weeds in my backyard. Then I literally pick what day that I'm going to do that, because I know what my schedule is and I put it on that day. So making a list of your to-dos is something that kind of keeps me organized. And then I calendar my tasks. So I have like a to-do list, and then I have my calendar. My calendar is more activity based. So if I have a meeting or a phone call or something like that, it's on my calendar. But if I have a project where I am going to be working in my front yard for 3 hours, I actually put it on my calendar. And that way it I know at 10 o'clock tomorrow, I'm going to be outside for 3 hours and do what I need to do. So definitely take what you need to do and put it on your calendar. And I know it's probably more if you're working, especially right now, a lot of us aren't, and we're just at home, but I even still do that too. So I wake up and I look at my calendar for the day and I'm like, oh, these are all the things that I have to do. And I literally have lists for everything. People probably think I'm crazy, but there's a free app, and I'm sure if anyone who has an iPhone has it, I'm going to show you which one it is, because it's like a lifesaver. It's the Reminder app on the iPhone. It's like this one. Let me show you guys. The one in the middle. I love it. And I have lists for everything. So I have a grocery list, and I shop at Costco and I shop at Trader Joe's. So I have lists for each of those. And so as I'm going through my day and someone's like, oh, we're out of milk, I go and I put it on a list, because then I don't have to think about it anymore. If my kids are like, oh, I need new socks, I have like a kids like purchase list. And on that purchase list, I would put whatever they need. So then when I have the time to go shopping or something, I can reference that and say, oh, I need to do this. So I have a house project list, and that was really full at the beginning of all this. I knew I had some time off. I was going to plow through all these. And it's anything from like painting a wall or any kind of house project. I'm like drawing a blank, and I had like 50 of them on there. Like working on the backyard, cleaning our pool, things like that. I put everything on a list. And that way it's not, like I said, not constantly something that you're thinking about. I also have a list for work. And so as things come up, if someone says I need to follow up on something, or my boss gives me something that I need to do, I literally go and put it on a list, or I put it on a calendar, and I keep it all, pretty tight niched. And people probably think I'm crazy, but it's what has helped me and keeps me sane. And the shopping list is a huge thing. So when you go time, which we're going to talk about meal planning coming up, but I have a list of things, like whenever we run out of things, I put it on a list. So then I'm not like constantly thinking about it. And then when I make my grocery list, it's all right there. So I highly recommend creating lists. And I kind of touched on this a little bit about managing your time. So I do calendar everything. I even calendar when I'm going to work out. So if you look at my calendar right now, I say I'm getting up at, 6:30 or whatever, and I run, it says working out from 8 to 9. And I still do that. And it has really helped me to feel like every day is not, what are we going to do today? I still get up and I'm still productive every single day. And then I prioritize my day. I always say to do the projects that you least want to do first, because I have found that if I wait to the end of the day, if something comes up, a meeting comes up, and that project that you didn't want to do that is really important now doesn't happen. So always try and do the things that are not fun at the beginning of the day. And when I do those things, I literally shut off my email, because if it's a project that I need to get done and I've allocated an hour or 2 hours and I just need to focus on that, I just shut everything down and I focus on that project. So if you can calendar that, that is key. The other thing is avoid time suckers. We only have 24 hours in a day. And if you take out sleeping and you take out time with your family, it doesn't leave very much for anything else. So try to avoid things that take a lot of time. And we definitely, social media is a huge thing right now. And I really, really, really try not to be on social media. I do a little bit in the morning and I do a little bit in the evening. But I was just listening to a speech today, and somebody says on your phone, you can track like how much screen time you have. And if you actually looked at how much time you're on your phone, it's kind of sad. And so just trying to avoid those things as much as you can. I highly recommend that as well. And if you don't have the time, don't say yes. So if somebody is talking about a project and you know that it's going to take 3 hours out of your day, and tomorrow you don't have that time, you need to either be honest with whoever's asking you to do it and say, oh, I can do it on Friday, or, put it on your calendar where you have the time, and don't always say yes to things. I know I'm really bad at that, but I know like where I can, take some time for certain projects. And then when you have extra time during the day, start working on your to-do list. Even if it's like little things such as, reach out to a friend or follow up on something or schedule an appointment. If you have those extra few minutes, just get those things done. And then for me, I'm like, ooh, gotta check that right off the list. So, anytime, any extra time that you have, definitely I always pull out my list, and I'm like, okay, these are the things that I still need to get done today. And I just work on getting those done. And one of my big goals this last year was to be better about birthdays. I don't know if anyone else is bad about birthdays, but I'm like awful. And so I took an hour one day and I went through and I got everyone's birthday and I put them all on the calendar. And so now they're all there. And so as you look into the week, your next week, you can see whose birthday it is and send a card, or, send a present, or even being able to reach out to them on their birthday. So that was a key thing for me. And that has just helped me stay in touch with people. Meal planning. Now, I know this sounds really silly, but I think that it's one of the biggest time sucks that I have seen. And when I talk to people, they're like, oh, what am I going to make for dinner tonight? And then they figure out what they're making for dinner tonight. And then they go to the store, and just that time alone, how much that takes to do all of that, you could have already been like done cooking and enjoying time with your family. So I really, really, really encourage meal planning, and I do it for the week, and I calendar it. So on my calendar on Friday, it says meal plan and grocery list. And so on Friday, I go through my Pinterest and I look at my recipes, and I literally plan out the whole week. So I write it down on Monday through Friday. I write out what the meals are going to be, and then I create my grocery list based on what I need. And I only go to the grocery store once a week. I don't go every day unless I forget something, but I go once a week, because as you all know, especially now going to the grocery store, it takes a little bit more time. You got to stand in line, and it's just a little bit more. So if you can save some time there, definitely meal planning is the way to go. And then I also hear that so many people are always saying, I'm eating like crap. I'm eating like crap. I just ate a whole bag of chips and I don't know why. Well, how did those chips get into the house? I mean, they didn't just walk into the house. You went to the store and you bought the chips. And so I feel like with meal planning, what's in the house. You pick the healthy, snacks. I'm not saying don't buy the cookies, but you can buy the cookies. But just having what is in the house healthy is all part of the meal planning. Because then you're not running the store and you're like, oh, look at those Oreos on the end cap. And you're like, oh, I want to get those. Like whatever's in your house is what you're going to eat. And then I also feel like it sets expectations for the family. So I don't have my kids going, what's for dinner? It's on the calendar. I have a calendar on my fridge and I write down all of the meals. And that way they all know what's to be expected for dinner. And it really kind of keeps us on track. So I really think that meal planning, if you can do it, is the way to go. Anyone have any questions on meal planning? If you want to share any recipes with me, please feel free. Oh, that was the other thing I was going to say. My recipes during the week are very easy and simple. Like I don't try some crazy new recipe that's going to take me 2 hours. I do like basic, simple, easy things during the week. And then on the weekends, I'll take that time to, make something that I've been wanting to make that's going to take 2 hours and things like that. So really if you don't have a lot of time during the week, make sure you're putting in meals and creating meals that are not such a time suck. They have feet. You're cute, Victoria. So that's about meal planning. Slide. There we go. Decluttering. So I don't know about you guys, but if my space or my home or my work area is like cluttered, I go crazy. And so I feel like if wherever the space is where you're at or where you're working is clean and organized, that actually is good for your brain. Because I feel like the more chaotic it is, that's how your brain is going to process it. There's just a lot going on. So especially since we all have a little bit of time, I highly recommend organizing your house. I really try and I don't like clutter. I'm a Virgo, and so we're just like very like neat and clean. But I'm always like constantly throwing things away and organizing things. So pick a room of your house and say, today I'm going to organize that drawer. Make sure you put it on your list. Organize your drawer. Organize small drawers, or if you want to tackle a bigger project, do a whole room. But just getting rid of the things that you don't really need, filing things, it's really a huge, just purge away. Like you don't need it. If you don't need it, get rid of it. And so I've been really working on that. And it goes for your workspace too. I'm looking at mine right now. It's kind of crazy because we just got done homeschooling. But at work, I have very simple things. I don't have a lot of stuff on my desk. I keep it very clean and simple. And I always tell people you should always have a plan or a picture or something that just like makes you feel good, because you want to be productive and you want to be in your space and feel good about it and not feel overwhelmed. So putting some things on your desk that make you feel good. I love candles. So candles I always love burning candles. So I would definitely get your workspace, kind of tight and not tight, clean. The other thing that I try and keep clean is my car, because I'm in my car all the time. So I really take a lot of time to clean my car. And I probably go every 2 weeks, and I go to the little splash and they clean my car, and I vacuum and I put a new little smelly thing in because I'm in it so much. And so if I got into a messy car, it would totally drive me crazy. So I try and give my little car a little bit of love once in a while. And so if you think about your house, is there a spot in your house that makes you feel good? Like when you're sitting in it, it just makes you feel good. It makes you feel happy. And why is that? Is it pictures? Is it because it smells good? Is it because there's some greenery in it? What is it about that space that makes you feel good? And take that and apply that to all your rooms, because you should really feel that way anywhere you go in your house or at work or in your car. So I would highly recommend that as well. The other thing that I wanted to mention, I forgot what I was going to say. I lost my train of thought. But I do have some homework for you guys. So this weekend is coming up. I know you all have some time. Pick something in your house that you're going to reorganize. Get your kids to keep up as clean. Madeline just asked me, how do I get my kids to clean up as well? I do talk about that a little bit later, but I will mention it now. I just like anyone else, they all have chores. So they need it every day. I've learned to like let it go, because I could walk around and follow them all day and be like, why is this not clean? Why is this not clean? So we do clean in the morning. And and then at night. So at night, I really make sure that the rooms are clean, that all their toys are picked up, and that everything around us is clean. So then when we wake up in the morning, we're good to go for the day. But they're all responsible for their own rooms, and they all have their own chores, because it's not just me that lives here. And we'll get to that in a minute. So for this weekend, I want you guys to pick a spot in your house, whether that's a kitchen cabinet or bathroom cabinet, or mine is my linen closet. It's on my to-do list this weekend. But I want you guys to think about a space that you're going to declutter, and I'm gonna follow up with you guys, make sure you did it. I'm telling you, you'll feel so much better. The next slide is ask for help. I think that so many of us think that we are superheroes and that we have to do everything. And I really feel that that's not the case. For the longest time, I always felt like I had to do everything. And I finally got into this moment of, I don't have to do everything. And I can rely on people around me to do other things. Family. If your family wants to help, let them help. You know, my mom does help a lot with my kids, my sister. You know, if people offer the help, take it. And I always say you don't have to do the things that you don't want to do. So one of the biggest takeaways things that I discovered this year was house cleaning. I hate cleaning my house, and I'm a clean person. I can keep it clean, but I don't like cleaning the showers. I don't like cleaning the toilets. I don't like cleaning the floors. So that's something that stressed me out a lot. And I figured out a way. I worked with my budget, and I was like, I'm getting a housekeeper. Everyone's like, it is going to be the best thing that you've ever invested in. And I was like, how can that be? And I get a housekeeper every 2 weeks, and it has been game changer for me. So even if you could get someone in once a month, because as we all know, it takes hours to really deep clean our house. So if you can save 4 hours to go spend time with your family or on yourself, then I think it's a good investment. And to come home with a clean house and know that you don't have to do anything. So that's why I say really rely on help. I also, I use delivery services a lot. Garnett is the one who got me hooked on Instacart. One thing I hated doing is going to Costco, and I still hate going to Costco. Costco's the worst. The food samplers, everything about it just stresses me out. And so why put myself in a stressful situation? So I use Instacart. I pay a little bit more, but I order online and they bring it to my house, and I don't have to go. And so that's something that has changed for me. And obviously there's so much more delivery services out there now with Food Grub and things like that. So if you can just take that extra 20 minutes and let someone else do it, then I would say try it and see how it goes. And I'm an Amazon girl too. I hate shopping. And so if I can just, shop online and it's shipped to my house, I know we shouldn't promote all the big guys, but for me, it has worked. And then asking for help with your family. So I know Madeline asked me the question about kids. My kids they have chores too. They all live here. It's all of their house. And so creating a little chore list for your kids, if you have kids, then that's a huge thing. And it doesn't have to be anything extravagant, but my son, he puts the garbage bags in the can, and my daughter, helps with her rabbits. And so they all have their own chores that they have to do, because I don't have to do everything. And they're all here too. And it goes with your husband as well, or spouse. They have responsibilities too. It's not just us. And so having that open communication of who's going to take care of what and when, then it helps. Can you come over and help me? Yes. Whatever y'all need, I'm here to help. And so it's okay to ask for help. It's okay not to be a superhero. You can't do everything. Managing emails. I'm sure most of you all get thousands and thousands of emails. I mean, we're all in the event industry, so we all know how many emails that we can get. And I have a really a system that I use for my emails, and that has helped with going into my inbox and not having hundreds and hundreds. I've seen some people's inboxes and there's thousands just sitting in there, just overwhelms me. So I really try and take the time to organize it. So then when I go into my emails, I'm not freaking out for the day. So like I said, I try not to check my emails that often. I know it's really hard to do. But I really, really try to only check my emails a certain amount of times a day. And then when I'm reading them, because I do it a lot on the phone or even when you're on your desktop, is I delete the ones that I don't need anymore. So if it's something like junk mail, I delete it. If it's something that's like, where everyone replies all and you're like, oh, I just delete it. And then if I've read it and I don't need to do anything with it, I file it away. So I have like 50,000 little folders, and I put everything that I don't need but maybe need to reference later in a little folder. And then my inbox is only things that I'm waiting on a reply from. So if I've sent the email and I'm waiting for a response back, it's sitting in my inbox. And then flag means like I have to do something with it, whether it's I need to read it or I need to respond to it. And so I find that it's helpful when you go into your email box and you only have 10, and it's either something you're waiting on and you only see 3 flagged ones. Those are the ones that you need to work on when you have the time to work on emails. So finding a system that works for you for managing emails, I think, is huge, because you don't want to get bogged down with, all the chaos of emails in your inbox. And I can talk to anybody about that. I've helped a lot of the girls on the team as well. And then for work, because I do a lot of communications, and I'm sure some of you guys do with clients, and you guys all probably have your own platforms of how you communicate with clients, but I use Zoho, and that's our customer database. And so for me, that's how I log all of my to-do stuff for my clients there. And I set follow-ups on that calendar. So then when I'm working on Monday, I go into my Monday folder and it'll show me all the clients that I need to follow up with. So if you are using, having to follow up with clients consistently, I really recommend that program, or there's Salesforce and there's other ones. But that way it's not really on my to-do list, but it's on a list, and it's like on a separate thing. So that's the kind of the things that I use to manage all of those. Do I have any questions? This helps me. I haven't gotten the rules thing figured out. I need to figure out how to do that. That would probably save some time. Maybe we can do a little seminar on emails, because I feel like that would be, Madeline's going to teach me. Great. I need some help. The next slide is who's in your circle. And this became more apparent to me this last year, and really eliminating all the negative stuff. So it's probably been about a year. I went through my social media and I deleted the people who brought negativity. Like, there's always those people who always post something that's like, they're mad at the world and the world's ending. And I really have found that if you can hide them, maybe not delete them. If you can delete them, great, delete them. But if you don't want to, hurt their feelings, hide them. And that way they're not in your feed, because I always felt like they just left a bad taste in my mouth. And so I'm trying to be positive and feel good, and I don't want all this negative noise. So I do that with Instagram and Facebook, and eliminating that. Even the people that make you, and we're all guilty of this. There's that one lady who looks beautiful and she's skinny and she looks like she has it all together, and she doesn't. Behind the scenes, we all know that no one's perfect. But somebody that always made you not feel good about yourself, or somebody who brought negative energy to you, like, make them go away. You don't need to constantly follow them. And so for me, the people in my feed are, uplifting people, other people who are doing, personal development, paths as well. And so I follow The Rock. I mean, if anyone can follow someone, follow him. And the stuff that he does is unreal. So just having people that are in your feed that make you feel good about yourself is huge. And I don't watch negative news. So I really try not to watch the news, because I feel like it's bad, but I know I need to. So I either watch local news or I, read the Press Democrat. But I really have been trying to, especially now, not watch the news, because everybody has their own opinions, and then you start second guessing like how you're feeling about what's happening. And so I just have tried to eliminate the negative news. And just like who are your group of people? Who are the people that inspire you and make you feel good and that bring you up? And I have like my group of women that just, if I need some, I don't know, it's just having somebody that's going to support you and love you and motivate you and help you hit your goals is the people that you should be, running with. And it's so funny because people always say, oh, you know, you always have that one person in your family and you can't really like delete your sister, but just how you engage with them and how frequent you're engaging with them, I would try and eliminate that so that negative noise isn't coming in. Because you really need to focus on yourself. You know, it's all about the mindset and about who you're working on, yourself and your family, and it's not what else is going on in the world. And we definitely all get caught up in that. So we're all managing new roles right now, right? And we're all trying to figure out what that looks like. And I'd have to say for myself is still continuing with my normal routine has helped me tremendously. Do I get up every day and put makeup on? No, but I do get up every day. I still get up early. I still do, you know, all my things on my to-do list. I take the time to, you know, at least, you know, get dressed or brush my hair or take a shower and shave and do those things. So keeping that normal routine going, because there is a time we're all going to go back to work and get back to somewhat of a normal life. And you want to not be like struggling with getting back there. And then we're all teaching, well, not all of us, but most of us are teaching. We're homeschooling right now and it's hard, you know? And so I remember in the first week I had literally, you guys know, talk about lists. I had from 8 to like 3 mapped out of what my kids were going to do every day. And I'm like, we did it for a week and it was like too much. And then I kept reading, like, just let them do what they need to do. Like whatever, you know, homework assignments are assigned or whatever reading projects are assigned, do those and then let it go for the day. So my kids wake up, we get up, we do a little bit of homework and whatever work we have to do, we probably spend like 2 hours. And then I let them go be kids and let them go out and exercise and play. And they play Legos and, you know, they do things that, you know, obviously they're not at a TV all day, but I think we put too much pressure on like having to get everything done for them for school. So use the time and enjoy them. Like I love sitting with my little kindergartner and watching him write. I mean, you know, being able to be involved in their education right now, I think is so important. And so taking the time to appreciate that and to really understand and know what they're learning. And if you have a project and, you know, you're balancing multiple kids or multiple things, that time that I said to get up early, use that time to get those projects done that you know that you're not going to have time for when the kids are awake or when, you know, when the house is up and running. And I also have been trying to keep up on housekeeping too. You know, obviously I don't have my house cleaner, and that's one thing I do miss. But, you know, being graceful that you don't have to always have like a clean, perfect house. Like have what you done that makes you feel good, whether that's a clean floor or, you know, dust or whatnot, or break up cleaning your house in like every day. But like don't stress about it, you know, like let it be. Pick one time a day that you're going to clean and declutter, but really try not to be overwhelmed with that. And then I know we're all cooking even more, but I think I can see everyone's bakers, and I feel like everyone is going to be some bread makers when they come out of this. I have not done the bread thing, but just still, I still been doing easy meals and healthy meals and engaging the kids with, you know, cooking, and that's a fun activity for the kids to do. Eventually, they are going to learn have to know how to cook, and so if we can take this time to teach them, I think that's super important. And I've seen people teaching their son how to barbecue and teaching their kids how to, you know, balance a checkbook. Like use this time to teach them the basics. And then sometimes some of us are probably sick of cooking. I am supporting a local restaurant, so I try and eat out at one of our local restaurants once a week. So if you can do that, just till we all can get back to what we think is going to be normal. And then the last thing that I want to talk about is enjoying the joy in your life. And I know Shane talked about this as well, and it goes with the whole gratitude practice, but really taking the time to enjoy life, like the things that make you feel good in life. So what brings you joy? And I think I had a little exercise. Yes, I have an exercise for you guys. Let me get through this and then we'll do a little exercise. So I created a list of things that bring me joy. And obviously, like we all have probably the same thing. We want to go on vacation. We want to be like on a beach with a cocktail, or you know, it's always like these big things, but it doesn't have to be the big things. It can be the small things. So some things that bring me joy that I love is playing music. I love listening to music. I love burning a candle, which sounds really weird, but like having a candle burning brings me joy. Seeing my friends on Zoom, so scheduling those times. So even though we can't go on a huge vacation and we can't do these like big things that bring us joy, like there's so many things in our life that bring us little joys. And so I have created a list, and every day I try to incorporate it of some, capacity. And so just looking back on that list, and you're going to add to it, and you're probably, maybe you'll delete something, hopefully not. But how can you take those little things of joy and applying to what's going on right now to make you appreciate life and what you have going on? So I definitely recommend that. And really taking this time to enjoy your family. I mean, how many of us have said, I wish I had more time. I wish I had more time to do this. I wish I had more time. And a lot of us do have that time now. So what are we doing with that time? So really taking the time and enjoying the moment of what is going on, because that is going to go away soon. And so if we can take this time to enjoy that, I definitely recommend it. And then avoiding distractions, like I said, avoiding social media, avoiding TV. A lot of it is so negative out there and doesn't bring you joy. So I try and not to engage on it as much as I can. So if you can even eliminate some of what you're doing, and like I said, clean up your little list of who you're following. And then this is something that I really focused on this year, was to have a vacation scheduled. And you hear it so much that if you go on a girls' weekend, they always say while you're there to schedule your next girls' weekend, or when you're on vacation to schedule your next vacation, because then you have something to look forward to. And I was super bummed. We had, some really cool smaller vacations. They don't need to be huge project, huge Hawaii vacations or Europe, but even like, oh, I'm going to go camping for the weekend, or we're going to go out to the beach on this day. Like having those things scheduled and planned ahead of time really makes you have something to look forward to. And especially in a time like this, like having something that, oh, in 6 months, I'm going to be able to go to Hawaii. And so making sure you take time for yourself and your family, and some girl time or boy time or whatever you need. Make sure you're scheduling that. So we're going to do a little activity before we wrap up. And I want you all to post something on here. So we're going to look at the little Zoom, because we all said what we're grateful for. And joy is a little bit of the same thing, but not really. I want you to post something that brings you joy. And it could be eating. It could be, and it's something that you can do right now, not something that if we weren't shelter in place that you wouldn't be able to do, but something that brings you joy right now that you can incorporate in your life. And I want everyone to post something, so I know you're all paying attention to me. Cooking meals for my family every night. Schmooze on my cat, who I'm begging to feed at this moment. Working with my hands like choreography or drawing. I love that. Gardening. Little joys. Coconut LaCroix. My crow. Madeline has a lot of joy. I love it. Slowing life down. Slowing life down alone to enjoy. Home that we typically away from. Laughing at my kid. Online paint class. That's something I've been wanting to do. Laying in the sun, drinking some bubbles. Yes, Ashley. Walking with my dog. Yep. I know Sam loves her doggy. I'm so cute. So these are all things that we can incorporate in our everyday life, or our life right now. And so I really encourage you to do that even once a day. And it just helps to bring some positive light to what is going on and in your life. So as I said before, I'm a little Rachel Hollis fanatic, but this is not really her exact quote, but it's basically what her message is. Be graceful to yourself. It's okay to not do everything. Be present where you are and focus on quality time with whatever you are doing. So that is my little tidbit for the day. And I really believe in this. And this is what really has helped me have a really good mindset with my life, and how I go about my day, and how I treat others and show up for people. And so if you can have a positive mindset with everything that I have brought and just focus on that, I really think you can really accomplish anything and you could really manage your time. So I gave you some like, you know, mental things and health things that you can focus on, and then also some tactical things to like, you know, organize your life. But I don't think there's a perfect answer to balancing work and life. It's just kind of what you do in your everyday life to be able to make it look like I'm not in chaos all the time. And I am, guys, it is the truth, but how I've managed it and been able to overcome it has been huge. And, you know, to be able to have a baby for somebody else and not have, you know, everyone was really concerned about how I was going to be emotionally. And I feel like the only reason I got through all this is because I've been practicing a lot of this for the last year and a half. So even before I was pregnant. So hopefully you guys can, you know, take away one or two things that I talked about today. And if anybody wants to like talk more in depth about one specific topic, reach out to me. I'm happy to let you know, a little bit more in detail. But I hope you guys are all well and you enjoyed what I had to say, and hopefully you can walk away with one or two things. So thank you guys. Is there any questions? Does anyone have any questions? Feel free to ask. And I wanted to show you guys my cup because I feel like it's appropriate for today. Embrace your chaos.
Your cup overfloweth with embracing chaos. Heather, thank you so much for your time today. We really appreciate it. And I think that the exercises that you mentioned are something that we should take away. I know that I should be kind of listing out things that I'm grateful for because I am definitely one that gets a little bit stressed out, especially right now with the situation. So thank you again for everything. Looks like Heather has some contact information here that she is sharing. Sounds like she wants to collab with anybody that has questions about managing chaos. And Heather, I think this is your first presentation that you've done, and I think you did an amazing job. It was very engaging. So thank you so much. And thank you to everybody that joined.
Thank you. And if you guys want, you can reach out to me. Most of you probably already have my contact information. But if you do something that brings you joy, or you're writing your journal about being grateful, tag me in it. I would love to see, you guys doing these exercises because it does help. And it definitely helps you like focus on your goals for what's going forward. So thank you guys. Thanks for listening to me. Everyone
Bye, everybody. Have a great day.